Good morning again, everybody. Jonathan van Clute here with Stock Navigators, and I am terribly sorry about having disappeared for the last. I'm not even sure. I think it's been two market updates now. As you can probably tell, because my voice sounds really funny to me, so I'm guessing it probably sounds really funny to you. I have been incredibly sick and just had no voice at all. Finally, I feel like this morning I've probably got enough voice and I am no longer coughing long enough that I can get through this. So I'm going to take a shot at it. We'll do what I can and we'll see what we see in the markets. And again, sorry for being absent like that. Those of you who are in the private Facebook and Discord groups, of course, I posted in there to say what was going on, so you guys knew, but everybody else. So sorry about the disappearing act, but let's get back to it and take a look at what's happening in the markets and what we might be setting up for in our trading day this Wednesday, January 23rd. And one more time, real quick reminder, please like, comment, and subscribe if you like these videos. And your feedback is really important. We definitely want to hear from you and to know how we can help in your trading and just how your trading is doing and if there's anything else you'd like to see us do. So let me know. I would love to hear from you. All right, with that, let's start with the S&P 500 as we always do. So the S&P 500 the last few sessions has popped up above that zone there, the buy zone turned sell zone turned buy zone. And actually, let me actually illustrate that. That would be this guy here. And, it has pulled right back to it again. And right now, I mean, we are right there, just right at that zone, right at the top of that zone. So it's kind of a critical point right now, in my opinion. It looks to me like this wants to hold. It jumped up over it, came back to test and held, but it's just right there. Any little thing could cause this to fail. Also, we haven't really had the pullback I've been looking for. We still, we have the low, we have the high, we have the higher low. I mean, at this point, we have the higher high. We haven't really had a pullback yet. I mean, there was this high here and this little tiny pullback there, or I mean, really technically that one there. But I mean, it's just nothing. That's normal volatility wiggling. It's not even anything to consider a retracement or a pullback or anything like that. So I'm still personally looking for that pullback. I want to see something like this, and then I want this to pull back, maybe form a higher low, bottom of the zone, something decently significant. And forming a higher low somewhere down in this area here would also be a retest of this low of this candle here and kind of this whole area here. So I would love to see that. That would make me very happy to see the market pull back, form a higher low, and then want to go higher from there. Because that establishes the pattern of at least two higher highs and higher lows that Charles Dow talks about in Dow theory. So that's really what I want to see. And so far, we just haven't seen that. The market just drifting upwards. Yeah, we had this down day here, but again, that range is nothing spectacular. That's just kind of normal, typical range. And given this up move here, I want to see something a little more significant than that. I would love to see a 50%. I would be thrilled to see a 50% retracement. But anyway, that's where we're at on the daily. We're just I am personally waiting. I really want to see a pullback. So I'm looking for that. Now on the intraday, we've got a clear pattern of higher highs and higher lows, higher high, higher low, et cetera, et cetera. And we are continuing that pattern. So right now, anyway, if I had to have a bias on the shorter term time frame, it would be to the long side. As long as we don't break this low here, but we got to break this one here, this high here rather, in order to establish any continuation to the upside. So right now, what I would prefer to see, if I had my way, would be a break of maybe the box here to indicate some shorter term weakness. If the 60 can close below the box, I will be really happy that suggests maybe that pullback that I'm talking about is starting. So I'm keeping an eye out for that. That's kind of what I'm looking for to happen. Now, navigator wise, we are below the zero line on the 60, although trending up. And we are above the zero line on the daily, but just for a couple of trading sessions. It's not, and it's only a 4.5. So it's nothing that's going to overly overly excite me at the moment. But on the shorter term, that's what I'm hoping to see. I really want to see that pullback start to form here. And that would be in the end of this pattern of higher highs and higher lows, and a new short-term pattern of lower lows and lower highs. And just for a healthy long-term uptrend. I know it sounds weird, to be rooting for a down move, if I want the market to be ultimately heading up, which is generally better for everyone. But in a healthy uptrend, that's what we need to see. We need to see higher highs and higher lows. And right now, we're just not seeing the higher low. Markets can't just go straight up forever. So we need to see that. That's what I want to see. That's what I'm watching for. Let's take a look at gold and see what's going on there. Now, gold, sorry, crude oil. Wrong one. I'm looking at the wrong tab there. Crude oil. So crude oil is just kind of slightly drifting upwards, but nothing really major. Technically speaking, we do have, you could call it a pattern of higher highs and higher lows having emerged here on the daily, but it's not a really exciting one. Kind of similar. It's not quite the same, but similar to ES. We haven't had a really big, significant retracement. And also, right now we're just right stuck in that congestion range here. This area here, which is what I was expecting was going to happen. Price would get up in here and then just kind of get stuck sideways for a while, and that is what has happened. So right now we got to take out that high there to indicate any kind of bullish follow through. And as far as lows go, if we take out that low there, then we're probably going to be looking at the retracement that I'm talking about. A new box has come out on a daily, and it's a very small box right now, but it is still forming on this daily candle that's today. So it certainly could change throughout today. The bottom of the box could get larger, top of the box could move further out, etc. So we'll have to just see on the daily basis what wants to happen there. Navigator has gone over the zero line. So that is potentially bullish, but similar to the ES, again, we're only at 5.5. Nothing real spectacular. The 21 EMA has curved up. So right now, if I had to pick a bias on the daily basis, it is to the upside. But I would prefer to see a nice significant retracement of this move here. I would love to see again 50%. I love seeing a 50%, 50 to of course there's always the good old 61.8. That's nice to see too. But 50% is just such a standard expected thing. When I only see a little tiny pullback like this, unless I really believe that we are in a raging strong bull market, then that's when you get these really shallow retracements. Is when you know that the market has a lot of strength, but I don't really see that right now. I don't see anything to suggest that we would be in an extraordinarily strong market at the moment. So I have a hard time not seeing that retracement yet. And that's what I really want to see. So on the intraday time frame, we've got quite a bit of stuff going on. We did go right up into this zone, went right up into it, and then pulled back away from it. So that zone right now has acted as a good resistance. We actually fell all the way back below this zone here again as well. So we now are right in it. We're stuck right in that zone. And is it going to hold as resistance and head lower? Or is it going to act as support and retest this zone again here? That's kind of what we need to wait and see. Navigator on the 60 has gone green. It has popped over the zero line just barely. So there is some potential bullishness going on there. But we have fallen below the uptrending trend line here. And right now, anyway, it looks like we've kind of held it as resistance. We haven't even really technically quite tested it yet. Haven't touched it. But we're stuck in this zone here, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. If we break out of the zone, do we touch this and then reject it, and then maybe come down and test this again? Which, so you can see here, tested, bounced really nicely. So this acted as really good support there, and combined with some nice magenta there from Navigator as well. So right now, I don't have a clear bias on crude. For me, this is a wait and see. We really want to see a takeout of these highs here to establish any kind of bullishness, or if we get these lows here, and then we might get some more bearishness coming in, get that retracement. Let me take a quick drink of water here. Thank you. Much better. So now Let's take a peek at gold. So gold did come right back to the trend line. It's just so funny when you talk about these things, and then especially you disappear for almost a week, like I did, and then come back and go, "Oh wow, look at that! It played out. It did exactly what I was talking about. Wow, how about that?" It's just kind of funny. So right now we are right at that trend line again, right there, and poked below it, bounced up above it again, came back to it. And right now we are testing exactly at the bottom of that trend line. So is it going to hold as support right this moment? It is. So that is a potentially bullish sign for gold. Got to get up over this congestion high here. And then, of course, we've got this sell zone here to test as well. So those are the kind of the key overhead levels there to look for. But the box is probably going to be a pretty good indication as well of which direction gold really wants to go on a daily basis. But right now, anyway, we are testing that rising trend line. And if the market is weak, the broader market is weak, then this would make sense that this potentially could act as a support line. If we subscribe to the theory that in market times of market uncertainty, people flight to quality, et cetera, and people will go more to gold and as a hedge and that sort of thing. So watch for those areas. Now on the shorter term time frame, we are just bouncing around between these two zones, and right now we're still there. We are closer to the bottom zone here. And right now, anyway, maybe coming down to test that. I would love to see that. That would be a good thing to see test and hold, and then that becomes a nice low risk entry there. If we come down there and show some signs of holding there, then you can stick a stop right outside that zone and have a nice low risk long entry right there. So that would be a good potential trade to look for setting up. Nice low risk, potential high reward. If all it does is trade across to the other side of the zone here, the other zone, then that would be a nice little trade. So watch for that and see if it sets up and gives it to you. Natural gas has come right back down again into this big old blue block that I drew here, this gigantic area of congestion. And right now it has come right back down to it and bounced up. So at the moment, anyway, the top of this block is doing a great job of acting as support. So right now, anyhow, I would have to say we've got potential support in this area and potential bullishness for natural gas. But again, as I've said before, and I'm sure I will say again, and this is natural gas is basically all about the weather. And right now, we are in winter, and if we get some more cold snaps coming through, we get some more record lows, storms, things of that nature. Anything like that happens, that's all it takes, and that will potentially shove natural gas to the upside very abruptly. So watch out for that. Technically speaking, we need to see this low here taken out if there's going to be any kind of downside follow through on natural gas. And right now, anyhow, the box might be our best indication. We've got a situation where the bottom of the box and the fair value line are one and the same. They are stacked right on top of each other. And then the top of the box is right here. And right now, we're just about wanting to test the top of the box, but haven't been able to break through it. On a shorter time frame, intraday time frame, you can see, and here, right in this zone here, you can see it. That price poked into it, rejected, poked up to it, went right to the top and rejected pretty aggressively. So on the shorter term time frame, anyway, I would say the bears are still in control. We've certainly got. Let me zoom out a little bit. Oops. We've got the lower lows and lower highs going on, and we have come down, came right down into this area here, and then bounced. And right now, anyway, we have tested and held this area as resistance. So right now, we're sandwiched between these two shorter term time frame zones. Navigator is trending upwards. It is below the zero line. It certainly is red, and it's at -20. But it is at the moment trending upwards. So trying to get some bullish strength into here. But on the daily, we're also decently below the zero line at -12. So we got a fair distance to go on both the daily and the 60 to be able to get over that zero line and break that. So right now, anyway, I would have to say the bias is to the downside. It's a bit messier on the daily, but we do have lower lows and lower highs going on. And if we can form another lower low, then we will certainly be continuing to the downside. And then we'll want to watch for basically the bottom of this congestion area here to be tested and see what happens there. Now, on the other hand, like I said, if we get sudden storm announcement or some weather event happens, then we could suddenly shoot to the upside pretty quickly, and be looking for this area here to get tested and taken out potentially, and then of course a test of this overhead zone here. So watch for those areas in natural gas, and of course keep an eye on the weather reports. And last but not least, crypto, Bitcoin, just going sideways. Just right there in this really narrow little range. Nothing really going on for a while now. But I'm anticipating another one of these big, jump shock moves, because Bitcoin does that a lot. Every time we get kind of, congestion or small candle ranges, then suddenly something happens and we get these big, huge moves and after small candles. So I'm watching for something like that to happen. Now on the 60 minute, there's still opportunities to be played, but they're pardon me. They're just so sporadic and random, and just all of a sudden they just come out of nowhere. It's certainly a weird market to play in. It doesn't look like any of the others, but that's a big part of why crypto is being adopted in the institutional world, is because it doesn't move like the other markets. It's non-correlated, so that is a good thing for portfolio theory if you're a portfolio management type person. So anyway, on the daily basis right now, Navigator poked up over the zero line and then gave up and just poked right back down again. So right now, anyhow, the bears are still in control, but we have not had any kind of serious downside moves since here. There's this zone down here, and price right now just holding right at the top of that zone. So it looks to me like there is some support here. There is some strength. There is definitely buyers down in that level. So we want to keep a real close eye on that. And certainly if this gets taken out, if we see a shock to the downside and that's taken out, then all right, we've got some follow through to the downside, and there is maybe another move down to be had. But if we don't get that, then perhaps we're starting to form a reversal in the Bitcoin market. But we got to take out that high. That's step number one, is to take that out. And then, we, of course, step number like 1.5, I guess, would be to take that out. Then we can finally start to march higher and really retest some of those other things. On a 60-minute basis, of course, we're talking more like that one there. We just got to take that level out, and then we can get up and try to test, well, this level, but really this whole zone. So right now, anyway, Navigator up over the zero line on the 60. So a little bit of strength coming in, but it has come back down again and is looking like it wants to test that zero line. So if it tests that zero line and holds, then that's a nice bullish sign. So we might see some further follow through from there. But right now, anyway, I would have to say, bias to the long side, just because we are holding so nicely here. But I would prefer to see it come down and maybe retest the bottom of this zone. And then I can have a nice low risk entry on the long side with a stop just outside that zone. But if I was going to go long at these levels here, I could put my stop maybe just below the low of that candle, something like that. Still a reasonably tight stop, defined risk. And of course, if I'm trading on a 60-minute basis, if I'm more day trading, then can maybe use the levels of the box and things like that. But again, Bitcoin's volatility is just so weird and so crazy that the boxes, we don't have these trends that the boxes make a nice series of stops where you get just the next box comes out and you move your stop, etc. It's just constantly always spiking up and down, above and below the levels of the boxes. So not a lot of trend in Bitcoin. And from a longer term perspective, we certainly want to see a trend develop. But if you're a scalper, just make sure that you have your rules in place and keep very tight stops, because when Bitcoin moves, it moves really far, really fast. So it can just blow right through your levels in a heartbeat. And if you aren't prepared to jump out with a tight stop when that time comes, then you're going to end up potentially getting pretty hurt. So trade carefully as always. Hi, William. I just noticed in the YouTube chat. Thanks for saying hello. I am I don't know if I can quite say feeling better. I mean, I suppose technically I'm feeling better. The last few days have been absolutely miserable, but at least I can speak. I have some amount of voice. It's a little croaky, a little squeaky, as you no doubt can notice, but at least it's there. At least I've managed to get through this without coughing my lungs out. So that's a good sign. That's a good sign. Unfortunately, my other half now has it, and she is in a much worse way than I am at the moment. So that's no fun. But life goes on. The show must go on. So here we are. Anyway, I think that's going to kind of wrap it up for now. I am going to go make myself some tea and probably still be taking it easy today. Not gonna overdo it. Might even head back to bed and try to get a little more rest. My sleep has not been the best lately. So anyway, that's enough about me and enough about being sick because I'm sick of being sick. That is it, everybody. Thank you so much again. I'm Jonathan Van Clute with Stock Navigators. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching, and like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. If there's anything else that I can do to help you to understand the markets and the way that they are moving and do any other analysis of any kind, please do let me know, and we will be happy to take it under advisement. All right, everybody. Good trading. I hope you have a great trading day. I hope you have a great rest of the week. I will, barring any unexpected sick surprises, I will be back again on Friday. So Friday morning, 4:45 a.m. Excuse me, 5:45 a.m. No, I'm not going to be up here at 4:45 a.m. No, that's not going to happen. But 5:45 a.m. I will be shooting for another morning update on Friday morning, leading into the weekend. So see everybody then. Thanks so much for being here. Take care. Bye-bye.